When you are the best kept secret in the marketplace, it is hard to grow a business. It doesn't matter how great your marketing message is if nobody hears it. And so today on Amplify Your Marketing Message, we're going to be talking about audience building and understanding the importance of being able to recognize what rooms you need to be in, where your audience is at, and how to spark movement in order to create momentum in your business. Let's dive right into the deep end. So, here is the truth that most business owners fail to understand. Audience building is not a one and done approach if you want to see long term success. In fact, I tell my clients if you are already an established business who has a reputation built in the marketplace, audience building still needs to be 50% of your focused time if you want to see your business continue to see that inbound client growth. If you are new and you're new to business as a small business, as a solopreneur, or somebody who has come back into activity, 70 plus percent of your day needs to be focused on audience building because it takes time to build a pipeline that creates conversion. And so I want to just set the expectation that everything else you might be doing right now is distraction as far as I'm concerned if you have failed to focus first and foremost and always on audience building. The other important thing to understand is that Business 101, simple concept. The easiest way to create success, i.e., client growth in your business, is to go into the marketplace that is already spending and turn that audience awareness to you, what you offer, what you stand for, and how you might be positioned as the guide to get them the result that they are seeking. And so we're going to talk about that as a simple given. We're not here to build an audience. We are going to go into the marketplace that is already shopping. And here's the truth. In any climate, including this one, people are searching for solutions. And in fact, I would argue that in a recession, which we're in, that motivation to seek help, to get the result, is higher and heightened than ever, more than any other time before, because the runway is shorter. What has not worked has bled time, and they simply don't have the luxury of time anymore. So they are highly motivated. And I want you to just take that on faith, because I will tell you, if you believe there's no client out there for you, you will hold back on your audience building and you will make excuses of the activities you're taking, which will really hurt your bottom line. So with the understanding that you must focus on this, you must go to the market that is already spending and turn awareness towards you. I want to talk about what comes next, because I often think of the analogy that in an audience that is seeking, there are three lanes of traffic. The first lane is the slow lane. This is somebody who has a vague awareness of a problem that they may encounter, but it's not a current problem. It's not a problem that is a priority to solve. And so educating and touching base with them might be helpful so that you have some level of awareness with that audience member. But to be crystal clear, they are not a buyer today. And when you're building audience, what's really important is you focus two lenses out in your gaze when you're amplifying your marketing message. Number one, who is immediately moving as a buyer to purchase, and who is somebody I'm nurturing because one day soon they will be a buyer. Your strategies, the way you speak, the urgency, and the language may all differ between those two paths that you're on. And you must be intentional about who you are speaking to in any given piece of copywriting or assets in the marketing world that you put into the place of the audience. So this slow lane is where I see most businesses get caught. You are educating and you're a likable expert, but you're not a must hire because there's no urgency, recognition of the problem, and priority around the dissonance of a potential down the line issue. What's also challenging in this space is you spend a lot of time convincing somebody they need you and to raise their priority. But let me just save you some hassle here. You are wasting your breath to cool your porridge, because if you're in convincing mode, you have a very tough road to follow. And I want you to be aware of that. And anytime you're out building your business, talking to people, networking, and connecting to other human beings, you should be assessing with your antennas up what lane of traffic are they in. If they're in a slow lane, note that. Don't spend all your time trying to convince, trying to educate, because they simply aren't prepared to move. And if you stay too focused on that in your marketing, you will grow broke. Yes, I said it. You will go broke. Broke in financial terms, broke in emotional terms, and it will exhaust you because the more you say it doesn't make it true as a priority. So stop wasting your time and energy there and instead shift to the middle lane. The middle lane is where your bread and butter business will come from because in this lane, your ideal audience is already aware they have a problem. And they are white knuckling through that problem, trying to solve it themselves. And like every human on the planet, we are pattern seekers and pattern habit makers. And so this person in the audience is going to see this pattern repeat. If you can intersect your audience in the middle of that white knuckle interruption and say, looks like there's a problem here. Do you know that that's a pattern? And are you curious about if this pattern didn't exist, what would be on the other side? Your goal in the conversation and in your marketing in this intersection point is simple. It's disruption of the white knuckle. It's disruption of the repeat pattern they are living in to simply intrigue them about what else is out there. If you're successful of disrupting that pattern, you have a moment. You must lead it to say, are you curious about what's on the other side? Because I will tell you what it looks like. And plant another seed to cast the imagination of what would it look like if this alternate reality was yours? Are you curious about what it would look like for you? Would that matter to you? Would you want and aspire and like to have that? And then simply make the reality check. It is possible. Staying in this pattern is your choice. I'm giving you an alternate. And again, lead to the next step, which is, are you interested in learning more? And what would make it a priority to solve? Because if nothing else, I will tell you, one, there is something on the other side. And two, if you do not solve it, i.e. break the pattern you're in, you will repeat this. And when you're ready, I want you to know I can help you be the bridge, the facilitator, the guide to help get you to the other side. And you must recognize that is, I said, the bread and butter moment that will build your business. And the urgency, the language, and the communication and your humanness are essential to success in the middle lane of traffic. This is where most businesses need to reprioritize because they are actively seeking solutions. They know they have a pattern and they are raising a priority anytime they white knuckle it. And you have a moment, small and beautiful, to interrupt it and to be a solution provider and a guide to them. And once and for all, we hope, break the pattern and achieve the desired result. So that's something to be really aware of. The fast lane is where we see the fastest client movement, and they happen. I often call them the unicorn client. And if you do your audience building and your messaging really well, and you're consistent with that understanding of what does the problem cost your client, you will see more unicorns in your business. I see them pretty regularly because of the effort I do to cast vision, to understand the problem and what it costs them, and invite them to move. So in the fast lane, your ideal audience member is already an established buyer. They have made a decision, the decision that they cannot get the result they're seeking by themselves. So they have committed to getting help. They have budgeted a resource or a money number in their head to solving it. And they likely have been actively searching for a solution. And hopefully, if you're going to see a conversion, you are already in the possibility list that they have identified. What's important is that you show up regularly caring for them, because caring is the piece that converts. And so in this place, you need to have a good pulse check on that rising priority, because for a unicorn client, The priority to solve this is ASAP. It was yesterday because they already know they wasted months, years of time, money, stress living trying to solve their problem on their own. And you need to say, are we done? Are you done? Are you ready to move? And what makes me the right hire for you now? Where do you want to get to? And if you can see that through line and you know you have the capacity, capability, and commitment to help them on that path, you must lead as the business right now in this moment, the offer, which isn't straight into the offer. It's, would you like one? Get the yes, keep moving. And that is really something that's so important because, as I said, when you are out building your audience, first go to the market that's already looking. To evaluate in every touch point, where do they sit, this prospect for you, in the lanes of traffic, slow lane, middle lane, or fast lane. And you want to master your messaging for each different audience group. You need to be self-aware of when you're talking to each. And what's really important is that you lead with your humanity, support, and service at the very highest level. When you do this really well, you will see a growing pipeline of potential clients. What's really important to understand in this is that robustness is the key because only 3% or less of people are ready to buy in any given moment. The more specific you are on the result, the more aware you are of the pivot point of what does it cost your prospect to stay with their current alternative. In negotiation, we would call that BATNA, the best alternative negotiated alternative. You need to recognize where are they at and be intentional. Chances are you are not meeting enough people. Chances are you're not focused on movement to these audience members. And chances are you're not leading the conversation with kindness, compassion, but clear, laser focused, understanding the value, that the only time you will see success in conversion is when the value is perceived higher than the investment and staying the current path. Because we are humans, we like our comfort zones, and even if the comfort zone doesn't serve us, we will stay there simply because it's known. You must create safety for your audience. You must create safety, understanding which lane of traffic they are, and be the one to guide them comfortably at a pace that feels appropriate for them, and check in regularly because the value is only achieved when you do it together. So this has been another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message. Today we've been talking about audience building, how to recognize where your audience is, how to understand what a priority it is, why it has to be a simple, non-negotiable at a much higher rate than probably you are doing right now in your business if you want to see a robust pipeline that leads to consistent client growth and the right people identifying you as their must hire. That's what my business, Clear Acceleration, is all about. We want you to be, first, confident you understand how to build a business. Second, why you are the must-hire choice. And thirdly, I want to see you have predictable, amazing results serving the people that you care about, achieving the results they quest, and having a heck of a lot of fun on the way. I am your host. This is Christine Campbell Rapin. Be sure to subscribe to this episode and grab my free resource, which is a 10-minute training on how to amplify your marketing message. Because in order to see movement across those 3 lanes of traffic, your goal in marketing is to create curiosity, to be intentional with the next step, and to be consistent in how you deliver what to say, who to say it to, and really celebrate the connection people to people. I'll see you on our next episode.